Welcome to Dissecting the 80s. I am one half of the Mega Podcasting Powers, Trip Lano. With me, as always, is my brother,
Andrew Lano.
And this week, we are talking about the Australian import from 1985, BMX Bandits.
Nicole Kidman's first movie. Marty, we're gonna go back to dissect the 80s.
When the Mega Powers explode!
I'm talking about the 80s. Oh, yeah. What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?
Mega Power Team!
Oh, yeah.
Netflix says about BMX Bandits.
Nicole Kidman makes her film debut as a plucky teen who helps her two best pals, both bike riding hotshots, turn the tables on a gang of bank robbers. I almost couldn't get through that without laughing. The words plucky and pals and hotshots.
She was chosen ahead of 200 who auditioned for the part of Judy.
I think I did.
Had to learn a BMX bike for the role, and her
stunt doubles.
And her stunt double was a man in a wig, which I noticed before I read that.
I told you to look for that.
Oh, well, I noticed it. It just very obviously, much like Buffy.
Yeah, as someone who loves Buffy and playing the Find the Linebacker game in episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Find the Linebacker.
It's great to be like, oh, that's clearly a dude in a wig that they glued to his helmet.
Tell us about this movie.
Apparently BMX was a huge thing in the 80s, and I didn't know that. I also didn't know what BMX stood for. I was like, I never thought about it as standing for something. It's not just letters. And it's a bike motocross.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
Movie's from 1983, not 1985, by the way. I apologize, everybody, for that terrible error.
So it opens with, like, a montage of BMX tricks, I guess you could call them.
Yeah, over the credits of the movie.
Of two teenage boys in matching colors, red and blue.
One of the actors' names is David Argue.
Is it really?
Yeah, which I feel like is not a great name.
No.
That's not like, I feel like your whole life is going to be shitty jokes.
Yeah. Also, you were in BMX Bandits, so.
And then we have Brian Marshall as credited the boss.
I forgot.
So we get a montage of kids BMXing all over town, and they use the very clever device of making them wear masks so that they can easily put in the stunt doubles. Mm-hmm. Some sweet rainbow elbow pads.
Oh, and it's like the old, like the rainbow suspender style. Like,
yeah.
Bright.
At which point, this credit comes up that says this is based on a different screenplay.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
So there was a screenplay written, and this movie was based on that other screenplay. Don't know why.
Yeah, it's not like it's an old movie.
No.
Unless it's like the penny farthing bandits.
I would watch that more than I would like to watch BMX Bandits.
I would actually, as soon as that came out of my mouth, I was like, I would watch the
Can
penny
we make
farthing
that
bandits.
a short film? The Penny
Yes.
Farthing Bandits? It's just guys hopping
Do we have
around.
penny farthing?
There's a penny farthing race every year in Frederick. I'm sure I could find somebody
There
with
we
one.
go. Hup, ho, hup, hup. What a jaunty stroll.
So they have, I will say, I will give them credit. A couple times in this movie, there's some very sweet shots that are basically the equivalent of GoPro shots way before GoPro cameras existed.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually curious, trying to figure out how they would have filmed some of these things other than having like a guy lay on a skateboard carrying a film camera, because there's shots from like at the feet of the BMX bike and like
Unless
weird.
they Sam Raimi that strap it to a 2x4.
Yeah, but it's a big old film camera that was moving along pretty quickly. So I'll give that. They had GoPro before GoPro was a thing, so that can't have been easy to do.
Yeah. And they're biking through town, and they bike into
All over Sydney.
all through the outdoor shopping mall, and there's a sweet Captain America shirt in the shopping mall. And we're introduced to Nicole Kidman and the rich fat kid,
Yes.
who's followed by tuba music and is constantly eating. Like the fat man on the tuba, like.
Yeah, that poor fat kid, like his whole character is just like, you're a fat slob, eat this candy bar.
And you're a rich kid.
Yeah.
You have a ton of money.
Eat this candy bar, fatty. Eat it. Eat
You're
it.
gold.
I don't want to eat the candy bar.
You're essentially
anymore.
our Goldberg.
Yeah. Just shove this in your face, you fat slob. It makes me feel really inadequate as a bike rider, by the way, because I am uncoordinated, and I could kind of used to be able to do the thing where you could stand on the
Side of it?
No, on the stand on the bar underneath your seat.
Oh, yeah.
and hold the handlebars. And then this kid does that and then takes his hands off. Mm-hmm. So if he's standing on the bike as it's rolling, somehow staying upright.
Completely upright.
Yeah, with his hands out.
They're talented. They got talented BMX bikers.
Absolutely. I'm sure they're just like professional BMX riders from this area that they were like, sure, I'll pluck them up and stick them in a movie. Then there's some really bad ADR, which lets you know for certain that the guys under the masks riding the bikes are not the actors. And we cut to a bank robbery where everyone's wearing pig masks, or so I thought. But it was actually 3 pigs and a wolf.
Oh, there was a wolf mask.
Which makes me think this was a Halloween set, like a group costume purchase that you could buy all of them together.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, 3 little pigs and a big bad wolf. $4.99. Down at Ricky's Costume Emporium.
Sexy nurse. Sexy 1900s steel conglomerate tycoon.
This movie explains why you shouldn't have plate glass windows in a bank, because they drive a van through it.
Right through it.
Right through the window.
And steal money. Like, a lot of money, it seems.
$100,000 or so. Mm-hmm. They give you a specific dollar amount, which is down to the dollar, which seems odd to me.
Yeah.
But it's about $100,000. And then we are now cutting back and forth between like the robbers and the BMX kids.
Yeah. And the BMX kids got Nicole Kidman fired from her grocery store job.
Yeah, they smashed into something
Carts,
or other.
I think, and flipped some. I don't know. Weak plot points to say that things are happening, and they break their bike.
Yeah,
And apparently
smash
they're
it to bits.
wizards at fixing bikes too, and they want to raise money so that Nicole Kidman can have a bike. These kids just met, by the way. They're not old friends, and
No.
suddenly they really give a shit that Nicole Kidman doesn't have a BMX bike.
I will say though, like in the scenario where it's like, okay, we're riding our bikes, we smash and break this, also get you fired, even though we don't know each other. Mm-hmm. I feel like there is some level of obligation. Is like, why are you having a job? So I can have a bike. Okay, we'll help you.
Oh, I didn't even put it together that that's the only reason she had a job.
Yeah, she was like, I want a bike. I need a job. Now you ruined my job. Help me get a bike, you idiots.
Mm-hmm. So they find.
I'm just waiting for you to say the Nicole Kidman line.
Oh, so sorry.
I'm standing here like, is he going to say it? You said it 10 times before we started recording. When is he going to say the lines? I'm just going to keep saying things like, here, catch this one. Nope. Okay. How about this beach ball? Can you catch this one? Nope. Okay. Here's literally the largest ball I can think of. Can you hold it if I gently place it into your arms? Nope. Just going to drop it like a feeble idiot.
I didn't even realize that's what you were
You couldn't stop saying the stupid 2 Nicole Kidman lines for the hour before this podcast, and then the second the microphones turn on, you're just like, no, I'm not going to say it. I've clearly been practicing this stupid dialogue for days.
I wasn't planning it. I just do. I have an Australian dialect in my rep.
Well.
I just have it. Those are pretty nice bikes. No, I really need this job.
Jesus.
I didn't realize you were trying for that.
Yeah, so Nicole gets fired, and then as we cut around, to the, I don't know.
The bank robbers are going to do a much bigger heist next.
Yeah,
and
but
to do it properly, they need these shortwave radios that can tap into the police scanners.
Yeah, they want to listen to the cops.
So they're like, oh, that's the only way we can get away with this for some reason.
Yeah.
And the kids find them and like, oh, these are just walkie-talkies.
But I think this happened before, and I have my note in the wrong spot. But before they ruin the bike on Nicole Kidman and get her job lost, there's like a truck unloading a lawnmower or something, and there's like a ramp.
Yeah, the ramp.
And it happens like you see this happen, and then we cut back to the kids, and like, oh, I guess someone's ramping over a pickup truck. And then the 2 of them launch over this pickup truck, and it's not like a little jump either. Like they cut it so it looks like they've leapt 40 feet in the air.
Like they're on like a propeller pad.
Yeah. So yes, Nicole Kidman has the world's biggest hair. It's
up there with like Bernadette Peters.
It's bigger than Sarah Jessica Parker and Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
that was big hair.
Yeah, that was get lost in it hair.
Yes. So and then the manager has super short shorts. By the way, we didn't touch on that. The manager that fires Nicole Kidman has shorts like Lieutenant Dangle.
John Stockton.
Yeah, just super tiny. Did you just drop a mid-'80s NBA obscure reference? I mean, not that obscure, but still.
John Stockton shorts.
How do you know that?
Because I have a pair.
You can name 4 athletes.
You're right.
And one of them was John Stockton?
It's because I have a pair of the shorts.
Jesus Christ. Anyway. I'm mostly confused as to why everyone is cool with this bike that is just ruined.
Yeah.
And it's not fixable ruined. Like, the whole fork
Apparently-
is missing from the bike to the
Apparently
point that
it's fixable ruined. That's what they say. They're like, that's okay. We whizzed with our bike chains or something.
Yeah, but it's not a chain. It's the fork of the bike is broken.
Doesn't matter. Movie magic. These kids are wizards.
Anyway, we move on to our pals. The kids are discussing a plan as to how they can get money. Mm-hmm. And they have... Everyone in this movie drinks milk all the time.
Yeah, they do.
It's real weird. Just 3 pints of milk for us over here. There goes 3 pints of milk for the waitress. And then I'm like, okay, well, they're kids. I guess that makes sense. Maybe soda's expensive. Australia, I know prices are high there on things that have to be imported. Maybe the soda's high. Maybe it's expensive to have soda. I don't know. I don't live there. But what boggles me...
horribly offensive to the Australian people.
Why is that horribly expensive? Horribly offensive.
It's like the idea that, like, maybe Australia's poor as fuck. I don't know. I'm from America.
That's not what I said. I said maybe soda is unreasonably expensive there.
Read between the lines.
A video game in Australia costs 2 or 3 times what it does here.
Really?
Yeah, like people I've seen online will like straw purchase video games for their Australian friends and ship it to them because it's cheaper to like give someone $20 to buy you a game and ship it to you. Like to pay them $20 on top of all those fees. So maybe soda, like the import on soda is high. I don't know. I'm not trying to be shitty to Australians. Maybe I know they drink other things there, but maybe soda's expensive. I don't know. Nicole Kidman just lost her job. Maybe money's tight for her. Jesus, I get put on trial every other freaking podcast. I'm not offensive that often. But then the bad guys also later are drinking milk, and it's like a quart of milk that this guy's chugging away on.
Isn't it on the boat too?
Yeah.
They're like going to find the...
Yes. They're on a boat going to find the shortwave radios, and the guy's just swigging from a quart of milk.
That's not a thing, is it? Like taking it out on a hot Australian day?
Oh, okay. So when you say it, it's fine. But when I say it, it makes me think that all Australians are poor and crappy.
I said Australia was a hot place.
Yeah.
It is.
Uh-huh. Because you can't afford a beer or a soda.
That's not what I said at
Yeah.
all.
Read between the lines.
No, you said things are expensive there because Australian people are poor.
I said Australia's import tax is high. Jesus Christ.
I said Australia is a warm climate.
Anyway, the kids get into a dinghy and they're going to collect mussels.
It's their dinghy.
Yeah, but they're going to collect mussels or some other sea life creature in order to make some money to buy Nicole Kidman a bike and fix the other kid's bike.
I don't know what kind of magic clams they're finding that are going to be worth, like... I'm assuming a bike's probably $100 in this time.
Did we not just establish that Australia has high prices for everything? We just had a conversation about it. Mussels are more expensive there, too.
Yeah, but still, the bike. A bike is probably... I'm going to say, like... Because a bike now is like, what, $150?
It's easily $50 to $75 for a nice bike in 1983. Yeah, okay. I have to imagine.
And assuming with Australia's high income, high import tax,
yeah,
it's probably going to be like $150.
Let's call it $100 because I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm just trying to figure out what kind of magic clams these kids are going to find.
Well, if they sell the clams for $1 a piece,
you just sell 100 clams.
Well, but they're getting it
for
free.
One bike.
Yeah, but it's free. Like, the boat is free. It's not an engine. There's no engine. It's a rowboat, so they just have to, like, row out and dig up clams.
I don't think it was a rowboat.
I don't think there's an engine on it, is there?
I think there was.
All right, well, you're killing me. You're literally pulling the life out of me, little by little. They're going to dig up sea life and sell it. Can we just agree on that point and move on?
I didn't disagree with that fact. I just said it was a stupid point.
I wanted to point out the fact that one of the actors the two boys in this movie are named PJ and Goose. And the actor who plays PJ, his name is Angelo D'Angelo.
I saw that.
Angelo D'Angelo.
It's Beverly's son.
Yes.
Apparently PJ and Goose are both, that's the kind of bike they ride. I didn't really. I looked
mongoose is a type of bike.
Mongoose is a type of bike, and apparently PJ is some kind of other biking term.
But I did make a note that the muscle collecting is a strain to get rich quick scheme.
Like that's the first thing. They were like, let's collect muscles. What? I don't know. Maybe like tutoring, babysitting.
These kids are pretty stupid. I don't think they're tutoring.
They could tutor you, and they could teach you how to BMX bike, do tricks.
I guess so. The other thing that boggles my mind about this movie is that the music is like Jaws run through a John Carpenter simulator.
Yeah.
And it's constant. This really like dun 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 type of theme, but played with like the Michael Myers Halloween from the 70s, like, and it's just the most annoying thing you could possibly deal with. So then Nicole Kidman is going to steal lobsters.
Yeah. No, she didn't want to steal the lobsters.
But she starts pulling up the pot.
I thought it was the boys, and she was like, "These are someone else's lobsters."
Yeah, and then she's just reeling it in. And they're like, it's like 10 quid for a lobster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Maybe they say quid in Australia as well. England.
They might.
Yeah. So they pull it up, and it's clearly not seafood.
Mm-hmm.
And they are like, well, we'll just steal what this is.
Walkie-talkies.
We don't know what it is. We're just going to steal it.
Oh, because of the shipwreck rules or something?
Yeah, it's rules of international salvage. So they're just going to steal whatever's in the case. They have no idea what it is. They're just going to take it. And then they realize that the bad guys are coming for them because they're speeding along in a jet boat.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think they noticed them yet.
Oh, maybe we just know?
I think it was because we saw them coming. They're like, well, let's get out of here before someone notices. And then they just left.
So they zip off. The bad guys show up. And then the guy tries to get up on the dock and falls. And it is 100% not scripted. And they didn't feel the need to do another take.
Yep.
Just like he's doing a split. And then he kind of flops onto the dock.
And milk goes flying in there.
milk all over the place. And check the gate. Moving on.
Whatever.
Like, no,
time.
This is a $4 movie. Shut up.
So they decide to sell these walkie-talkies that they think they are.
Yeah.
To everyone, including this rich kid. And then that's when we find out that the police can hear what they're saying.
Yes, because the police radios operate on the same frequency.
But for some reason, they can't hear the police.
Right, which seems like the opposite function
what
that
they
these
wanted
radios
to
should
do.
have. Yes.
I was like, wasn't the point so that they could hear the police and that they would be able to secretly listen in?
Yeah, that they could sneak around, but that's okay. I also thought it was interesting how every radio that gets sold for a different price. Like we see 3 transactions, one's $20, one's $30, and one's $40. Mm-hmm. And why are these kids buying one walkie-talkie?
I never thought about that.
Like a walkie-talkie is only as good as the other people that also own walkie-talkies. So it's not like, oh, we walked up to 2 guys and sold them each a walkie-talkie because they're expensive. Mm-hmm. It's just like, hey, fat rich kid, buy this walkie-talkie and talk to other people. Yeah. No sense made at all. Lady Cop is listening to them in the police station with the head police guy. And Lady Cop is super into the conversations being listened to. She is like way into the voyeurism thing.
Yeah.
The whole time she is so into it. It's creepy.
Like it's her soap opera.
Yeah, she's like, ooh, what are they talking about?
But then she's the one.
They're children.
Doesn't she know that they're talking about BMX? She's like, PJ and Goose, those are biking terms.
She does say something like that, yes.
I don't know if at this point or later in the movie that she figures that out.
Yeah, I don't know either. So they're selling things.
And they're hiding out. They've hidden the walkie-talkie stash in a boathouse.
We get a little bit of sweet misogyny where they're like, don't any of these come in colors other than black? By a girl.
Apparently that was a reference to something.
Oh.
It was, there was some kind of a product. Then they were like, can it come in, the executives like, can that come in pink? And they were like, we hate you. So apparently that was a reference to something else.
Okay, I just thought it was your general run-of-the-mill misogyny.
You would think.
You would.
From this movie.
But then as they're selling to these kids, again, everyone is drinking milk because apparently that's the drink of choice of Australia. And this movie was, I think, shot with a potato. I don't know that it absolutely was shot with a potato, but it's pretty likely that it was shot with a potato.
Because why?
Because the resolution on it is 1 pixel.
I mean, it's the 80s.
Yeah, but a lot of movies were filmed in the 80s, and I've even seen Australian import movies from that era, not to be like a weirdo, but I've seen other movies from Australia from that time that didn't look as crappy as this.
Yeah.
It was horrible and poorly lit.
Oh, I think it was a reference to a television program called The Inventors, where one of the panelists was renowned for her queries about the color range of new inventions. Her questions were often, does it come in any other colors, and is it safe for the kiddies? And they were often parodied on Australian television.
Well, there you go. A reference lost on your American counterparts.
In 2014.
Yes. So they go to hide the walkie-talkies, and they don't even bother to light the place that they're hiding the.
No, well, they don't want anyone to know they're there.
But as the movie makers, they don't bother to light the place. So there's a good portion of it that is just black and shapes moving around a black background.
Yeah. And then the bad guys finally find them.
Sure. Mustache and Whitey. Actual names of characters.
Before or after they do the graveyard chase?
I don't know, but they're able to buy Nicole Kidman a BMX bike after they make and fix the other kids from their 3 walkie-talkie sales.
And no, they fixed 2 bikes because both their bikes were broken.
Okay, so $70 bought 1 new bike and fixed 2 old
I
bikes.
think we can say 90 because it was 20, 30, 40. So we'll say 90.
Okay, $90.
Maybe Australia's import tax isn't so high.
Maybe.
I don't remember if the graveyard comes first or what.
They start the chase and they go into the graveyard.
But I just remember that there was a scene that I wrote down that was basically Goldberg's skating rollerblading sequence from
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks 2.
Just crash falling.
But it was like a weird version of that because the fat rich kid was clearly like, I don't know how to ride a BMX bike, but then like
With
did a
ice
bunch
cream
of
in his hands.
Yeah, and like did a bunch of stunts and stuff.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. And then they get chased through the cemetery by Mustache and Whitey, and it's like this screenwriter is so proud of himself that it's like, oh, we're gonna put it in a spooky cemetery
And make them wear ghoul masks.
Yeah, and I believe there's the line, "My knees will knock out a message on their own." Because she's so afraid.
Yeah.
Yes. And they're trying to do Morse code or something. Mm-hmm. And that's a proud screenwriter who's like,
Yeah.
I am so smart.
That's a clever line.
And the bad guys, for reasons unknown, have Halloween masks.
Again, the Halloween store had a sale.
But they're different than the previous bank robbing masks.
Because they're specifically for graveyard fight
Yeah.
chases.
And
it's
then
it's like they have the wall of like on for this we have this for this we have this for graveyard chase sequences.
if you go left, you'll see our bank robbery. Around the corner from that is your basic assault masks. To the right is your cemetery chase. And then further right is cemetery
your
chase
purge
for
masks.
children. Purge masks.
Your horrifying purge masks.
Then they all hide in an open grave. Mm-hmm. Because there's an open grave in the cemetery for reasons unknown.
Terrifying.
Yeah, just an open pit that a person could
Doesn't
fall
have
in
a
and die.
casket in it. It's
No.
not like it hasn't been filled in. It's
No
just
warning
ready.
signs, no string around it. No,
Well, no, because if you have a warning sign, then you miss the opportunity for someone to trip because they're running straight and it just goes right down.
yeah, but that would die. If you were running full speed and fell into a 6-foot deep hole, you would break both legs and your neck maybe as you fell.
I think that your momentum would keep you going forward, and you would smash your like whole body into the wall of the grave. Your face, your cheek would catch the top.
It would
of the
be
grave.
just long enough for your head to hit the other side and snap your
Crack.
neck, and then kill you.
That's a different movie. Nicole Kidman's dead body in a grave.
No,
Suddenly
Nicole
it's Stand
Kidman
By
is
Me.
hiding in the grave, and the dead body falls on top of her.
No, I think Nicole Kidman's running for the grave. She trips, breaks her neck, and the kids decide to just cover it up because no one's going to
Just fill in the hole and move.
It's a very different movie all of a sudden. That's a twist ending. I would love.
That would have been so much more entertaining than this.
All of a
piece
sudden,
crap
these kids
movie.
are murderers, and then they go after the robbers and kill them.
and they take the money.
Yeah.
and they buy so many BMX bikes, and they finally can afford sodas. They finally
And
can
a
stop
BMX
drinking
park.
milk.
I forgot that's been a plot point the whole movie. That the
Oh
kids
yeah,
want a BMX
we
park.
need a BMX park. We need somewhere to go. I also will say that one of like 2 legit laughs I had while watching this is the point where Nicole Kidman extends the antenna on the radio to contact somebody, and it goes right into that guy's eye because it's like a 6-foot long antenna. Because it takes 2 arm strikes. She goes out to her arm's length and then back and then again, and the second one is right into the eye of the bad guy who's
It's one of
chasing her.
those like if you're standing full height and you held the tip of the antenna, it would fall to the ground, and you'd still have to raise your arm even more.
Yeah, it's a 6 to 7 foot antenna on this.
That made
this
me pee my
walkie-talkie.
pants.
Yeah,
I forgot antennas used to be like that.
yeah. She goes, like into the eye. So there's like one of 2 times in this movie that I laughed legitimately. So I was all right with that. So then they're all hiding together. Blondie, I don't know if that's
Trying to put
PJ
the
or
move-
Mongoose.
Trying to put the moves on.
Oh yeah, he thinks he's getting it, and she's not having it.
She doesn't want either of them.
She wants. Well, she makes it seem like she wants the other one, but really she doesn't want any of them. So he steals a kiss and is like, "Do me in this open grave," and she's like, "That's really
With our
weird."
friend 2 steps.
2 steps away and in peril.
We're all in peril.
No,
in
no.
this grave.
Look, I'm gonna
Let's kiss a
die.
little
I don't
bit.
want to die a virgin.
That gives me an idea.
Take off my shirt. What are you doing?
That way, if the
Hopefully.
that way,
That's what
if-
I'm
If
doing.
the bad guys show up, you can arrest them for child pornography.
They don't have.
Boom.
They don't have a camera.
But they're still naked children.
But-
And I think being around naked children is enough for a judge to be like,
Yes, it would not be that crime, but yes. So she's like, oh, you're both attractive in your own way, which is code for you're ugly, get away from
I
me.
hate both of you.
Yeah, you
Don't
are
they let
terrible.
the air out of the tires or something? Out of the
Yeah, they let the Blondie and Nicole are hiding in the grave while the other guy lets the air out of the tire.
right. That was
And then the Blondie is trying to get with her. And she's like, you're ugly, but you're nice.
You have a great personality.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Lady Cop is listening to them talk,
Oh, that's
is
right.
getting flustered.
Real into it.
She is like looking around to see if anyone's looking, unbuttoning an extra button on a shirt, turning the radio up. Like, it's creepy.
Yeah.
I'm making a lot of that up, but that's what her
I don't
reaction
know
is
if you
like.
are, though.
It
I
is
don't know how much of that is
really
made up.
bizarre and creepy. And that's the point where she's like, those are BMX terms.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's
So they
like,
start pulling over every kid on a BMX
well,
bike,
first they're like,
which apparently is the entire child population of Australia.
yeah, but first they're like, you don't have a penis. You don't know what you're talking about.
You woman.
Yeah, shut up, woman.
How are you in the force?
So at that point, they start pulling over the kids. And they all have custom shirts now that say BMX Bandits.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, you didn't notice that?
I didn't notice that.
BJ and whatever the other one, Goose and Nicole Kidman are all wearing shirts that say BMX Bandits that are color coordinated.
Because she has pink.
She has yellow, I thought. No, hers is pink.
I think it's pink, yellow, and
Red?
red.
Okay. Well, they're all color coordinated with helmets and protective gear.
And that's when you see her finally do something on her BMX bike.
Yeah.
And it's clearly a dude in his 20s.
Yes, he's massive. His shoulder's the size of a door frame.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's the 28-pound Nicole Kidman. Sure. Yep, I believe that.
That's all her hair, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, they expect us to believe her hair fits in that helmet.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
If you pull it off and it would expand like that insulation
Or it
foam.
or it would be like you squeeze it on and it'd be like, "Foop!" And the helmet just
The hair
off her
pops
head.
out.
The helmet pops off her head and her hair.
Oh, this movie is terrible.
And then they kidnap Nicole Kidman because they figure out who they are.
And it gets really rapey.
It's very rapey.
So-
because she's like 15 in the movie.
Yeah, she's a child, and these two guys, Whitey and Mustache, are like threateningly advancing
Those
on her.
names are already like
Yeah.
the rapiest.
Yeah, they're real gross. And the theme music is there. They're riding along the beach, and then she gets kidnapped. Right. So she's kidnapped, and
They send the message to Goose and PJ being like, "Give us the rest of the radio so your friend dies."
yeah. And I know I shouldn't laugh because it's like 30 years ago, but the radios are so comically large.
It's like talking into an Xbox.
It is. It's exactly what it is. It's like carrying an Xbox around in your hand and using it for communication.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. It's so impractical.
So the kids are like, hang on, I made fun of them for something. For like, they're like, we have her. You don't come after us and blah 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 blah. Also have a note. Why the hell are the antennae comically long? We're just gonna call the kids rally the troops together.
You're way ahead with that.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, what's next then?
Yeah. There's the explosion and the guy with the knife.
Oh,
Yeah. And then the other major theme feels like it's from a crappy knockoff SNES game. Like, fight!
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Then you have Fat Kid again near the ice cream truck.
Oh, he loses his ice cream.
Yeah,
a
and
lot.
it's the Mr. Softy with the double cone on the single
Yes.
handle, which is just sad to see him wasting it by dropping it.
He's rich.
And then a guy gets decked by a mattress
Mm-hmm.
that's going at least 25 miles an hour.
his head should have popped off.
Would have been
like the
decapitated.
Omen. The
Absolutely
Omen.
decapitated. She like hops into the rowboat and she's gonna rowboat away. And I was so excited that we were gonna get a rowboat chase scene.
But she's still tied off to the dock.
Yeah, because she's an absolute idiot.
She's got-
Let me
She's
read.
completely
Let me read you
inept.
the notes in sequence for my thing here.
Okay.
Is she gonna try to row this boat away? Are we gonna get a rowboat chase? I'm gonna lose my shit if we get a rowboat chase. And she's still tied up. What an idiot! Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
That was my other legitimate laugh.
completely inept.
Yeah. But I've never seen a rowboat chase in a movie before, and I was really excited.
Then the BMX kids come back and knock the guys in the water, I think.
Yeah, the guy comes with like a javelin, or not javelin, like a horseback thing from the medieval times. Yeah, he comes in like he's gonna joust him, and he misses, but the guy falls in the water anyway. And then the other guy falls in the water, and they just start throwing garbage into the water at them. And it's not like cinder blocks or something that could cause damage.
I feel like throwing a cinder block at a man flailing in the water is kind of manslaughter at that point.
He just tried to rape and kill their friend.
I agree, but it's still manslaughter at
so
that point.
what? No, who's ever going to catch them?
They killed her and put her in the grave.
But if they hit the guy in the cinder block, he would drown, and that would be the end of it.
The other guy's still alive.
So
they ran away, right?
Yeah. But the is the BMX era before they had the pegs on the bike. So she has to like run back to where her bike is hidden while the two of them are pedaling, and they have to pedal slow so it doesn't look ridiculous. So they're like really awkwardly trying to make it look like they're going fast, like really pumping their bodies, but the bikes are barely moving because she's sprinting alongside them.
But it's also they're on a dock.
Yeah.
So if you make one errant turn of the wheel, you're just
Done
careening
for.
into the water.
Done for.
So they're like desperately trying to keep their bike straight
while not moving with any forward momentum. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Died.
So at this point, we get the sequence of the movie, which is where I just totally tuned out. It's a good thing they have their bikes color coordinated because it's hard to tell them apart as they start riding.
Because they all wear masks.
Right. But then they get to a water park.
I forgot about the water park.
And this is the point of the movie where I was like, I am so done with this. I'm so done with this. And because the whole movie is just long scenes of BMX riding. And at this point, we get, I'm not exaggerating.
It's basically a Fast and the Furious for BMX bikes.
But at this point, we go through a 27-minute chase sequence.
Is it really?
Yes. The water parks, the sequence that includes the water park is a total of 27 minutes.
I didn't realize that.
27 minutes of BMX chase.
I said Fast and Furious for BMX bikes.
They rolled down a water slide. And again, credit where it's due. I'm
cool.
sure it was really hard to shoot that in 1985. Some poor cameraman had to get wrapped with plastic to keep the camera from getting ruined and then go down a water slide backward.
Several times.
Yes. They are pretty great looking. But it's about an hour into this 90-minute movie. And we're about 10 minutes into this chase that just keeps going. They're chasing them with a car. They're chasing them on foot.
This is where they end up in the abandoned warehouse, right? This is that one. The chase ends in the abandoned warehouse, and this car's doing donuts to try and get them.
Yes, because the car is somehow unable to turn the wheel straight anymore. I don't know, but at this point, I wrote, "I am so bored of this chase scene." It has been almost 20 minutes, and that's not even the end of it. It keeps going. I don't even have good notes for this movie. It's rather boring. It's just a ridiculous chase sequence over terrible music.
Yeah,
that's what I wrote. So the chief hauls these kids in. They decide to turn in the radios, and they're like, "Hey, we found these radios."
But they have a couple left hidden somewhere.
And at this point, the chief's like, "Well, we should give you guys some..."
Oh, no, that's not. They steal them back.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. I was wondering what you were talking about.
They turn all the radios, and the chief is like, "This is not your job. You're not policemen."
And he's like, "Now, you kids, there's police to do this stuff. We should get you in trouble." And the lady who liked listening to them on the radio is like, "Well,
they might have a point."
And he's like, "Shut up. You're a woman. This is Australia. There's no place for you here." In 1983.
Too full of blue-ringed octopuses.
What?
A blue-ringed octopus.
I don't know what that is.
It's one of the most poisonous animals in the world.
Well,
Australia is home to like 7 of the world's.
Yeah, well, Australia, pretty sure everything there will kill you, including this movie.
Maybe.
So at this point, there's 20 minutes left in the movie, and these kids are going to foil a bank robbery in that runtime.
Yes.
They steal the thing. They steal the box of radios back
disappear.
from the police with no one noticing in the department. And they're like, "All right, let's get the kids together." And suddenly there's 200 extras.
That was my thought.
Yeah.
There are that many BMXers in this small Australian town.
It's not an exaggeration. It's 200 kids. I paused it, and I did like a group where it's like, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20. There's almost 200 of them in the one major shot. They pull the kids together, and they're like, "What do we want?" And I rewound it 3 times, and I still can't make out the line.
I can't either.
What do we want? When do we want it? Now!
Well, that was the point where they were like, I think at that point Nicole Kidman gets kidnapped.
Not yet.
Is it not yet?
Nope.
Because I thought they had to look for her. Because they were like,
No,
don't worry.
No, she gets kidnapped right after that.
When
sequence.
the police show, when we find them, we're gonna call the police and let them do all the work.
Right.
JK, not at all. We're gonna do all of this
But
ourselves.
what they do is the idea is they're going to give them the box that supposedly has the radios that's been wrapped with wire a lot, so it'll be hard to open the box.
Yeah.
So they give it to them, and then they have BMX kids stationed along the roads everywhere that they
To
can
be like,
hey, they're turning
here.
on Broadway. And the guy's like, well, we're going to take her as an insurance policy. And they grab Nicole Kidman. So that's when she's been kidnapped.
She's now Princess Peach.
Yeah. And then they're just like, they're heading north along the coast road.
Whatever that means.
And these guys
They're
happen to
standing
be
next to a giant map.
with insane detail. Like it's a hardcore zoomed in city map that's printed on a 6 foot by 6 foot sign that they're just drawing on with a marker the route of the bad guys. And the ADR with the kids speaking into the radio.
I said that. It was as bad as Summer Rental.
That's literally what my note is.
Mine too.
This is as bad as Summer Rental. Like, can I play in the basement with your crew? Yeah, yeah. They're heading north along the coast road, and it's like a girl speaking with that tone of voice. This movie is exhausting me. Just talking about it, reliving it now, is just sucking my life force out. I'm not letting you pick any more movies.
Hey, I liked it. It's a fun movie.
You really liked this?
I thought it was fun.
All right, we'll get to that. So at that point, they're like, all right, kids, keep out of sight until you're ready to spring our plan into action. And 150 kids just roll over the crest of a hill and down directly at the bad guys. I don't know how 150 kids could stay out of sight in any scenario, but it's certainly not the one where there's one road to get to where you want to.
Bike.
On a bicycle.
They're all on bikes.
In garish neon colors.
Quietly. I don't know how they're BMX biking quietly.
No, they come down to clanking and clicking all over the place, just like...
Climbing back. How are they like running into each other?
They're really well coordinated.
So then they start throwing flour.
It's the equivalent of trying to hide a marathon.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, we're going to sneakily hold the New York City Marathon. No one will know about it.
But then don't they all start throwing flour?
Yeah, they have bags of flour. It's their weapon. So they just start pelting the bad guys with bags of flour that explode and puff everywhere. And then at one point, it looks like they like have a guy on the ground and they're wailing on him, but they kind of cut away from
Yeah,
it.
they're like, don't do that part. And the bad guys grab Nicole Kidman again, right?
Right.
Don't they try to?
Yeah, they're trying to. They pull her into that truck, the
That
dump
was it.
truck. So the one kid sprints after a dump truck, catches it, grabs on, drags his feet for a while, and then climbs this like the
other
T-1000.
And the nerdier kid bikes up to it.
Yeah.
We're supposed to believe that this kid can bike to catch up with the truck.
Yeah, the speed of a truck, and then he climbs up on it. And when I noticed in this is the first time I noticed, Australian bikes have the teeth of the where the chain goes, the pedals attached on the other side of the bike than we do here.
Really?
Yeah. Is that like their toilets flush the other way? You think that's related?
Not a real thing, but yeah.
But you think that's related?
No, because the toilets don't actually flush opposite.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No.
Yeah.
They don't really do that, Trip.
I don't believe you.
No, it's larger storms and like storm systems will rotate the opposite way of ours, but a toilet is way too small to be fucking affected by that. It's not a real thing, Trip.
I don't believe you.
It's 100. I have a friend who's from Australia.
Yeah, but she doesn't know. You wouldn't think about it.
What?
Why would she think about it? If she was in Australia, that would just be the way the toilet's flushed.
She lives in America now.
Yeah, but could you, if I did tell you to think...
She goes back every year.
No. Wait, this says that, okay. The real cause of backwards flushing toilets is that the water jets point in the opposite direction in toilets manufactured in Australia. So it's not because of the Coriolis effect, but they do spin the other way.
I don't think that's true.
I'm reading it on the internet.
Off what page?
Mental floss.
There might be some Australian toilets, but I think the general... I don't think it's like at every toilet in Australia.
But if the jets are on the wrong side, that's why their bikes are on the wrong side.
Also, they'd probably drive on the other side of the road, too.
Yeah, well, maybe toilets are engineered from road directions.
Okay. Anyways, they climb on top of this thing and pull a crystal skull and try and get this thing to crash.
Right. While they're on top of it, they're trying to cause this truck to crash.
And so they see there is a guy doing foam fertilizer.
Yeah.
Which I don't know much about lawn care. I'm going to assume that foam fertilizer is straight up chemicals.
Yes.
And
all fertilizer is chemicals.
But it's like nothing. There's nothing natural. There's no like. It's manure. It's foam. It's foam. If it's foamy poop, if it's manure.
Oh, so your point is like it's caustic.
It's straight up caustic chemicals.
Yes, yes.
And the entire 5-minute ending sequence of this chase is everyone flailing around in this foam.
Yeah, but you missed the part, which is my favorite. We have to backtrack. The kids climb on the truck, and they're like, oh, there's kids on our truck. Let's try to throw them off. So they start doing the wiggle of the wheel thing. And then Nicole came in from the back, pipes up like, oh, you're beaten now because my friends have climbed aboard this truck and still have no way to get into the cabin and save me. But you're beaten now.
Or a way to contact the authorities.
No, they're just holding onto the top of a truck that is careening on at highway speed. They crash into a car because the kids throw a tarp over the windshield.
That was right. I was like, there's...
Why is there a tarp exactly designed to cover the windshield? It's an installed feature of this truck. It
really was.
That was bolted maybe for a hot day.
Maybe. Oh, maybe like the windscreen.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm arguing against myself, but I guess that makes sense. But anyway, they cover the windshield. The guys smash into a car, and the kids, instead of being ejected and turned into hamburger, which is what would happen if you were on the cab of a truck that got into a car accident at 50 miles an hour. They just or
I'm picturing them they hook their arms under, but their torso.
Yeah, that's exactly what would happen.
Their bloody arms. Arms are still attached.
There would be 4 arms hooked over the railings, a pile of hamburger, and a brain in a helmet. That's what would be left.
I was picturing the whole arm is still hooked in. It's just the shoulder joints that pop down.
Yeah, that's what we 4
like
four
Mr.
arms.
Potato Head.
Yeah, 4 arms under the truck hood, and then
arms.
laying.
I thought you meant 4.
No, 4 FOUR. 4 arms, 2 from each person, and then a pile of body parts and blood sprayed over the street.
And Nicole Kidman gets to watch that happen.
Yeah, she just watches her
tarps covered up.
Yeah, she gets out of the truck with a concussion because she's been thrown into the windshield because she's not wearing a seatbelt.
She might have gone through the windshield at that point.
Though. Yeah, they all would have. None of them had seatbelts on. And I realize we're nitpicking in a stupid way, but it's the danger assist. These kids climb on top of a moving truck, and then their great plan is, we'll just make them smash into a solid object. That'll work.
And so, but it's the foam fertilizer truck, and they all get out, and there's a flailing fight sequence.
It's a straight up Benny Hill sequence.
And I was like, I wanted to cut back, and Nicole Kidman's face is like Phantom of the Opera, and she's like, nah! And so I was like, where's Rachel?
As she has to dig through her friends' corpses looking for identifying pieces.
But
this
all
is Goose's.
It's melting in her hands.
This is PJ's.
It's just bones at this point that she's pulling out of
I should have had sex with him in that open grave. It would have been so much better.
So I wrote down a note. If you're listening and if you're watching BMX Bandits, at 1 hour, 27 minutes, and around 55 seconds, they clearly edited out a part where the kid crashed his BMX bike and it was clearly about to be run over by either the mass of other people or a car.
Well, this is when they
cut away from it.
This is when they get the BMX bike or the BMX course. Is that
no? This is right before. This is during the foam sequence. Oh, wait, no. Oh, it was. It's on the track.
Okay,
that's what it was. He crashes his bike on the BMX track, and there's clearly all the other racers about to run him over, and they cut away real quick. They crash cut.
Yeah, so they do the Benny Hill sequence, and I write, I am so done with this. Yay, they get a BMX course.
There's no explanation. There's no anything.
Thank
it's just
God
crash,
this movie is
smash
over.
cut to a BMX course.
Well, they said if they caught the bad guys, they'd get a reward from the bank.
Oh, I never put that together.
Yeah, they said the bank would give them money. So they get a BMX course, and the movie ends. Credits.
And they win trophies.
Yes. No explanation on the trophies. It's just BMX riding. Hey, everyone has a trophy. Yay!
And Nicole Kidman won first because reasons.
Well, she is a woman. Girl power.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she has no experience riding a BMX bike, and earlier in this movie looks like an idiot while trying to ride one.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So that brings us to everybody's favorite segment of the show. Hot tag taglines. Hot tag tagline. BMX Bandits. Where did my milk go? I was drinking milk.
I know, I liked it. I just wasn't expecting the milk to come back.
Hot tag tagline. BMX Bandits.
These kids should be dead by now.
They absolutely should. That brings us to, should you watch this movie? I say absolutely not. There are so many better movies to watch that are bad that are good.
I like it. I don't think it's an amazing movie by any stretch, but it's fun because, Nicole, you're like, oh, you're going to grow up and start boning other people.
Married Tom Cruise, be a Scientologist briefly, have a couple of children, then run screaming into the night.
Didn't she marry Matthew Broderick at one point?
Did she really?
I thought she did.
I didn't know.
But like, I like that element of it, and it's a fun, stupid 80s movie. I think it's fun.
I think this is like so far down the list of fun, stupid 80s movies, though. Like, you could find so many more entertaining options than this.
I suppose you could, but I think there's an element of fun to it.
If you say so. I am just not into this one at all. So we'll
do the same way with Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I liked it.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun at least had redeeming moments. This, to me, is just boring for a lot of it. There's just long sequences of BMX chase that are just like, now they ride down a hill. Now they ride up a hill. Now they go through an abandoned warehouse. Now they go through an abandoned theme park. And it's just like, some of that is made up. But it's just like, stop it. Shut your dumb faces up. So you're going to recommend, I say no. I guess you guys will have to decide for your own. Mm-hmm. Thanks for listening, guys. We have another one of our famous celebrity endorsements for this episode before we let you go on your way.
Don't forget to rate and review this podcast wherever you find it. It really helps them out. I'm Nicole Kidman also. I like it that way. I think that's funny.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Don't you forget about me.